Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple: products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I was sitting here eating my food fast so I could do this episode because I was like, man, I know it's going to be such a good episode because I feel like that it will overall help out a lot of people if you're struggling with finding your happiness. But yeah, that's why I'm overall calling this episode like advice for finding your happiness, because there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot, and I'm going to try, overall to discuss everything, in a good fashion, and hopefully help out people out there that, if you are struggling to find your happiness, like, just know that you're not alone. Like, as I'm doing this episode, I'm struggling with finding my own happiness. And your life, like, that's the thing, though. It's like your life overall does determine, like, what happiness you're going to receive. And as a kid growing up, receiving material things that makes you happy, you got to understand at the same time, like, those material things, like, as a kid, like, for an example, when you're celebrating Christmas, right? When you're celebrating Christmas, you're getting gifts, you're getting all these, like, especially when you're a kid. I remember there was this one Christmas, I think it was the year 2003. And I remember I got like all these different gifts. I remember the one thing that I do remember was getting like this military like toy set or something. Like, it came with like this military truck, a soldier that you could put inside the truck. It was a bunch of different cool things. And I just remember that was like one of my favorite Christmases growing up. That was also the same Christmas when I found out that Santa wasn't real. So that was a memorable Christmas. But anyways, I do remember I remember that Christmas so well is because that military set, I remember that was like a set that I have like I had it for a while, like pretty much my whole childhood and stuff. And then it's like as the time got further down the road, I got older, I stopped playing with those toys and things, and so it moved on to video games. So I started getting into video games, getting more and more into that. I mean, I was already into video games, but I was more into toys, as a kid and stuff. And so, but as the time progressed on, I got into video games. So pretty much the point that I'm trying to make is that, that stuff, those material things, is only going to have you happy for a moment. If you can find something that is like, that falls in that category as a material thing, and it can have you happy for the rest of your life, not just for a moment, but for the rest of your life, then keep that material thing as close to you as possible, right? But if not, then you got your life wrong. You allowed material things to, and that's overall, like, I was allowing material things to make me happy when in reality, I should have had it where it was like my friends, my family, like people, like the living, that should have overall been making me happy. Then when you experience that type of happiness, you don't really know how to adapt to it. Like, a family member can make you happy, you don't know how to adapt to that. A friend can make you happy, you don't know how to adapt to that. And you're expecting, that friend or that person to have that same effect like a toy, or a video game, like have you happy like nonstop. But at the end of the day, like, that's one thing, like when a person has like their happiness stored, they can only give out so much, because they have their own happiness to worry about. They shouldn't, I mean, yeah, if you want to worry about other people's happiness, you very well can do that. And at the end of the day, it's like, that ain't really like, you giving out your happiness. That's just proving that you're a good person. So, and even if you don't have any happiness stored in you, still, like, if people look at you like you make them happy in some sort of way, be there for that person. Don't push them away because, oh, if I'm not happy, then you can't be happy. people like that is toxic. And excuse me, I like I said, I did eat my food pretty fast, so the after burps, they're happening and stuff. But anyways, yeah, those type of people are toxic. Don't be around the person where they're like, oh, if you're not happy, or if I'm not happy, then you can't be happy. And it's like, bruh, happiness is such a hard thing to come by. So if somebody were like anybody, and I don't care who it is, random strangers, and there's been times where it's like so many, like from family to friends to random strangers, people I worked with, from coworkers to customers, that will always come up to me because I make them laugh. I make them feel some sort of way. And my thing is, like, if I can do that, for my whole life, I feel like at the end of the day, like, if I don't have a happy life, at least I had that effect on people to give them a happy life. So I'm like, I'm happy that I'm able to do that. If I never experience any sort of happiness in my life, and I'm able to, have everybody else around me happy, I'll be cool with that. I'll be perfectly fine with that. Like, and at the end of the day, like, it makes me feel good that I'm able to do that for somebody. And I feel like if I do more of that, and that's why, honestly, what I need to start working on doing is just, being there more for friends, making more of them happy and stuff, giving them more laughs and things. At the end of the day, if it stresses me out, it stresses me out. But I'm like, I know it's going to be some happy stress. It ain't going to be some painful stress, like, and that's, and just, and it's like the whole thing with just like, overall, like, exploring happiness and stuff, like, with friends and family and all of that, you don't really know where it's going to, like, lead to. Like, it might lead into a long lasting thing, or something may come up, like, that's the thing where it's like happiness has so many different roads, you don't really know where it's going to lead, so that's why it's like, like, have a strategy for happiness and things, but make sure that you are taking in some, like, always make sure that your happiness comes first. But if you get, like, if making people happy like, stores your happiness, then it's like, continue doing that, like, and I've tried that. That's the thing where I'm like, I could tell you guys right now, it's like, I've tried everything possible, to like try to make me, like, much more of a happier person. And I can tell you guys right now, I don't think I've ever experienced a happy day in my life. Not like a true, legitimate happiness. If I did, I know I've always said, like, the last time, like, I was happy, I was like 16, 17. I think it was way before that. I think the last time I really did experience happiness was when I was a kid. But that's the thing, I don't remember, So it's like, at the end of the day, I honestly feel like that I have not had one happy day in my life. Like, I've had good days where it's like, okay, like, nothing bad didn't happen. But I've never had, like, a happy day. A day where I smiled about it. A day where, like, I think back on days, I'm just like, it was a good day. But it wasn't a happy day. And I know people would be like, well, what's the difference between a good day and a happy day? And overall, like, I just feel like that, because there's, all right, so to overall explain it, starting off with the bad day. So there's been countless and countless and countless and countless and countless days. I just experienced a bad day the other day. It was a day where I had it was like the after effects of getting the second vaccine shot. That day was not good. That day was not good at all. I thought I was gonna have besides that, there were some other things that kind of, came into my life at the moment and things, and it almost broke me down. But I was like, you know what? Nah. Can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cry. I ain't going to be all sad. I ain't going to, that's not me. I'm not going to do that anymore. I've done that. I've been down that road. I'm not going down that road again. I'm like, and that's why, like, I feel like that, the things, and it's straight facts, bro. When a person or sis, whoever is listening to this, but it's straight facts when a person, or when somebody says, like, whatever doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And that's true. That is very, very true. There's been, like, countless times where I've dealt with things that I'm like, I don't think I'm, like, if, like, at the time being, I'm like, I just hope that this never happens again. And I'm like, man, I've been through it this time around, so I'm like, I think I could go another round. Because I'm like, it's like, it's style and stuff of whatever you're dealing with. So it's kind of like you guys see, feel like, mentioning boxing due to today's events with the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, I feel like boxing would be a good example. But it's style and stuff. So overall, like, okay, I know what to do next time, like, next round and things when we really like when we're going at it and stuff. I know what to do. I know how to fight around it and things. So that's how I see things. I'm like, okay, I know what this is and stuff. I know how to get through this. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what, because I had to say, like, last year I was going through some stuff. Dark days. Dark days. To the point where I was laying in bed. I wasn't myself. I honestly, like, I felt my heart, like, literally feeling numb. Like, when you can, like, when you honestly feel your heart, like, and it's, I mean, like, you just kind of, because I don't know, like, do most people, are they able to feel their heart, like, within them and stuff? Like, are you able to feel when there's a cloud over it? Like, I legit felt like there was a cloud just surrounding, and it was a dark, stormy cloud. It wasn't no bright, beautiful, day surrounding it. No, it was dark and gloomy. Now, if I had to say, like, where's my heart at? I feel like my heart is, like, in a recovery stage. Like, it's able, like, to, do things, but it has a limp to it. It ain't full 100%, but it has, like, a little limp to it and stuff. So it's, like, kind of like, it's just still kind of got, like, some, like, nerve damage and stuff, but it's going. It's still going. So it's, like, that's always, that's a blessing right there. When your heart is still going and stuff, that's a blessing, because I've heard situations where people have had, like, some tremendous heartbreaks and they've died. Like, they've legit, I've heard of that stuff, and I'm like, man, it's crazy that some stuff like that, and that's, like, stuff that lingers in my mind, where it's like, I hope and pray to God that never happens to me, but I'm like, but that's the thing, I know what to do to take my mind off of stuff, and that's just to keep busy, and that's what I was like earlier, a few podcast episodes ago, where I was talking about, like, your personal life and your business life, regardless, like, because one or the other will make you happy. One or the other. So my thing is that, and I'm not telling people, I'm not asking people, it's like, okay, like, I will, like, on a separate occasion ask y'all to, like, support my channels and support, like, when I'm promoting it and stuff. I'm not really trying to promote it. I'm just overall trying to give you guys, I don't want you guys to, like, go out and subscribe to all my channels, or, because you're here like, oh, now I gotta show him support because that's what makes him happy and stuff. But, to overall get back onto this, whole thing to, like, I guess, tell, like, my life, to give you guys a better picture to, paint and stuff. But my personal life doesn't make me happy at all. When I sit down and think of my personal life, I'm not happy. I like, and and that's the thing, where it's like with business, I feel like that's the one thing that's always made me happy, is having a business life, having a life where it's like, as a kid, you got dreams and goals. And I remember as a kid, my dreams and goals was to be a basketball player. So playing basketball, that made me happy. That made me feel at home. So fast forward, I'm 24 years old now. My business life is YouTube, Twitch streaming, podcasts. Like, that's what's been on my mind lately, is doing 2 live streams a day. So I'm debating on that. But I recorded countless videos. I've shared laughs, I've shared smiles, I've helped people grow, I've done everything that I possibly, could. Erase that part. I've done the things I can do for now, like everything that I can do right now. But I know that as the time progresses on and I get much more bigger when it comes to content creating and stuff, I know that I will be able to do more things. But, like, at the end of the day, like, that stuff makes me happy. When they tell me that they went over and they've followed a streamer or followed or subscribed to a YouTuber, or, they're in their comment sections, like, that's the type of stuff that makes me happy. It's like, that was like one of the things where it's like, I remember one of my fans or supporters and stuff, but they went over to Tadia's. Like, I feel like that's a friend I haven't mentioned in a while. But I am gonna work on the shout. I'm gonna go back to promoting her channel and stuff, her and her daughter's channel, because I'm like, nah, it's like it's been a while since I've done that. But it honestly, it made me, like, really happy that I can help their channel grow. Like, when and that was like one thing that did, like, it honestly, it brought a smile to my face But Tadia, so for those that don't know, Tadia has a daughter. Her daughter's name is Kendall. Kendall has a YouTube channel called Kendall's Activities. There was a time where I shouted out Kendall's channel to get her to 100 subscribers, and it was like, and she did. She overall did get to 100 subscribers. And I remember Kendall had commented on my video thanking me for that, and it's like, man, it's it's stuff like that like if I can experience that like but 24/7, like that one smile, like that spark of happiness, oh man, I would be shouting her out every single day, just to know that I've motivated her, or I've helped her out, or done something. I'm like, that's a good feeling right there. So I'm like, that's one, both of them, like Tadia and Kendall, those are two people I'm like, hey, for the rest of my life, like, I don't care what dark days I'm experiencing, if y'all need help with anything, I got your guys' back. So Tadia and Kendall, highly doubt that they will hear this episode, but if they are, just saying, like, I got your guys' back and stuff. So somebody, can go out, reach out to Tadia, be like, hey, TMossBoss mentioned you, because most likely by the time I'm done with this episode, I'm going to forget. So anyways, but yeah, but it's like to be able to help them out, or even help out Four Souls, or to be able to help out a Twitch streamer like Unwin, or any of my other friends. Like when my friends contact me, like that's another thing that makes me happy, is when my friends contact me and then they're asking me for advice, like, for like YouTube or Twitch streaming, or they tell me that they're motivated by me. I'm just like, that makes me like, there's that spark of happiness. I had to say, like, my happiness is pretty much been that car, like that old like 67 Mustang that's been sitting in the garage for like 20-30 years. And you haven't started it up, but it's like when you do, you kind of hear like a little spark. Like every once in a while, you're going there and start it up to see if it does anything, and then there's just that one little spark in the engine. Probably might need to replace the engine if it's sparking. So it's an example, okay? It's an example, but anyways, but overall, y'all get the picture, right? Like, it's just, that's my happiness. It's just that one little spark. So overall, how do you get it to 100%? You got to fix it. You got to fix that car up. Like, to compare your happiness to that 67 Mustang sitting in the garage, because I did see that at one point in time in my life. There was this neighbor, and I was just like, one day I'm going to buy it, but I remember walking past their house one day, that Mustang's gone. I'm like, dang, I'm like, man, that hurts, but I'm gonna manage. I'm going to manage, okay? Maybe it wasn't meant for me to get that Mustang. Maybe it was meant for me down the road to get another 67 Mustang, all right? So, but anyways, you're gonna have to fix it up. You're gonna have to replace the parts. You're gonna have to replace the engine. You're gonna have to, and I'm not saying like go to a doctor and ask them, hey, can you cut my heart out and give me another heart, or can you cut my brain out and give me another brain? No, you gotta do maintenance with what you got. So it's going to take some time, but it is possible. Don't think, and that's why I'm like, for those that are new to my podcast, I'm gonna just let y'all know that anytime when you guys think stuff is impossible, I will be there to tell you that it is possible. Anything is possible. Finding love, possible. Finding friends, possible. Finding family that you haven't talked to in years, possible. Finding that dream job, possible. Everything is possible. There's nothing in this world that is impossible, okay? So whatever you want to put your mind to, you can do it. It might take you years. It might take you seconds. It might take you however long it needs to take you. But do not think for a second that, oh, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I can't. Because nobody would be successful. Imagine if Elon Musk was thinking along the lines that being a multi-billionaire, right? With a company, freaking one of the best cars in the world, Tesla, got the SpaceX thing going on, got all these other stuff going on in his life. Or what about the one guy, Jeff Bezos, or Bezos, whatever that man's last name is, all right? He kind of has like a Tana Mojo thing going on. But anyways, whatever her last name is. But anyways, imagine if he was like creating this website where you can literally buy whatever you want to buy. Imagine if he thought that was impossible. Imagine all of the successful people in the world, from Martin Luther King to LeBron James, all the way back down to Malcolm X, all the way up to Tupac, all the way down to Michael Jordan, all the way up to Russell Wilson, all the way to Barack Obama, and then right back down to me. Imagine if all of us, okay, if we all thought that stuff was impossible, we would not be the people that we are today. I wouldn't have this podcast. Tupac wouldn't have albums. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Russell Wilson, they wouldn't be some of the most greatest athletes of all times. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they wouldn't have some of the most motivational quotes and wouldn't have pushed this, the black community and just so many people across the world. They wouldn't have pushed them into believing, what they were preaching to people and stuff. None of us would be successful. None of us at all. I wouldn't have the thousands of videos on YouTube. I wouldn't have nothing. I would just be a random person in this world that nobody knows about. And that's the thing. Everybody deserves to have their voice heard. They deserve it. They deserve to at least have that one thing where it's like, if you want something so badly, but it's positive, it ain't no negative stuff, it's some positive. If you got some negative things built up in your heart, then it's like, okay, you just crazy, all right? I'm just gonna be blunt with you, you just crazy. But if you got some things that's in your heart that's so positive that it will make millions, a billion, whoever, okay, it's going to make people smile, and it's going to make people feel happiness, and it's gonna make people feel warm inside, right? It's gonna make people feel like that instead of having a cold heart, painful thoughts, and everything else about them that just overall puts them in a mood where they just don't want the world to see them. If you're able to change people, right, and help out people, do that. And I'm telling you, your happiness will be as close as you think it is. Is that how that should go? I feel like that's how it should go. I don't freaking know, bro. But anyways, your happiness will be much more closer than what you think it is. Your happiness will get closer to you. And then there's going to be that one day where you do something and it brings legit just tears of joy to your eyes. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait for that day. I cannot wait for that day where I'm able to just look off into space or look off into a million people or wherever, okay? But to just be able to just look out somewhere and just cry, but be happy at the same time. I've never felt that before. I've never in my life have felt that before. And I feel like that is when you find true happiness, is when you're able to do that. So look forward to that, to where you're just crying uncontrollably. You can't even control it. I'm telling you, I cannot wait for that day. Because I've had so many emotional cries in my life, and I've never had one happiness cry. Never. My eyes would tear up a tiny bit, right? A tiny bit. And I'm like, man, that's when it's that's when you're starting up the car and it's it ain't wanting to fully start up yet and stuff. It's it's just it's almost there. You almost got it, but it's not fully. There's still more things that you need to do. So to be able to do that, to have that a little bit of that feeling, it does feel good. It honestly, it does feel good. So anyways, I will talk to y'all later. I'm not going to do no promos for this episode because I feel like it was just too much of a, moving and motivational episode and stuff. So no promos. If you want to hear some promos, go to my last episode because I think in my last episode it wasn't nothing serious. So yeah, I was talking about Drake, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. So that just shows you how random this podcast is. I would talk about Drake Bell, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West, and go into a motivational episode about being happy. All right. So, anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.